Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to do a quick video about the Marshawn Lynch retirement. A lot of you guys have been asking my thoughts on that, and obviously, it's the big buzz today. Now that the Super Bowl is over, it's kind of the topic of the day, especially around here in Seattle. It is official that Marshawn Lynch is retiring from the NFL. He tweeted out that picture of his cleats hanging on the telephone wires yesterday at the end of the Super Bowl. A lot of tweets started getting thrown around, by Seahawks players and everybody. But his agent did confirm it today, so it is official that Marshawn Lynch is done playing football. And my reaction, in some ways, to be honest, I was kind of relieved to hear that he was retiring, because at this point, we had all who've been watching the Marshawn situation pretty closely were I was definitely of the assumption that he was not coming back, or I should say that the Seahawks, while he was under contract, the Seahawks were not going to would not have had him play another year under the current terms of his contract. So most likely he would have been released and either then retire or go to another team. And to me, the only thing worse than him retiring would have been to be released, having a whole awkward, contract issue kind of being discussed by everybody, about having a big debate about, they should have, made more efforts to keep him and all this kind of stuff. And then him going to another team. And that was my biggest fear, is that he would go to another team and just to see him in another uniform. We've seen it happen, so many times in the past. Emmitt Smith, I think even Eric Dickerson, played in a different uniform before he closed out his season. So I didn't want to see that happen. It's just a weird feeling. But so part of me is relieved that he retired now, given, how things had gone this past season. Just to know that he's retiring as a Seahawk. I think, nobody ever really knows what's really going on with Marshawn Lynch, but I would venture to say that, from everything I've heard, that I think that injury he had was a lot more devastating than we may have all assumed it to be. I don't think he'd ever had an injury quite like that up to this point in his career, and he just didn't seem to be the same after that. That's the most time he'd missed due to injury, and it's just kind of a serious one. When it's dealing with the core of your body, the way he runs. Really with any athlete playing on that level, you got to have your body, in tip-top shape. But to have something, that internal, that key part of where everything stems from, to be, injured like that, I'm sure was tough on him, much more than we all thought. So, and of course he's entering that magic number, 30 years old, for running back. We all know that's kind of that turning point where it seems like careers, especially for runners like him, tend to go south. And there you go. Just as he's approaching that 30 mark, that's when the body starts breaking down. And so on that side of it, I guess I am somewhat glad that he's chosen to take this path, and that the retirement is happening now, as opposed to the alternative. The flip side of it is, I'm sad to see his career come to an end, because his time in Seattle from 2010 to now has been some of the most amazing times having Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. We've never had a running back like him. All due respect to Sean Alexander, there's only one beast mode. And the way that guy ran, the way he was the heart and soul and the engine of the team, and just really, for the first time, I think, put the label or the reputation of Seattle being being a bruising, battering team with an identity of a running, smash mouth team, because we had never had that under Holmgren. We were kind of a finesse. We were looked at as a finesse team, and of course in our early days, we had Kurt Warner. Would probably be the other back that you would put as the best known back during the time we had early successes, first playoff success, but nothing compares to what Beast Mode brought to our team, and really to the game. He's up there in a very elite group of running backs that kind of stand in their own category. Beast Mode, I believe, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I believe he had the most yards after contact since 2010, which, as we all know, that is what defines Beast Mode, was his ability to take a hit and just keep on churning, taking guys with him, delivering hits, not just taking them. And, I think of signature moments that we remember, they were some of the best. The Beast Quake against the Saints in 2010 in the wild card game, the run against the Cardinals last year in Arizona. There was also that Philadelphia run where he ran for like 20 yards, buried in a pile of Eagles, and somehow squirted through and got a touchdown. There was also a run against the Texans. I want to say that was three seasons ago. I think our Super Bowl season, where he had an amazing run down the sideline, just tiptoeing, dodging guys. It was one of the runs that don't get featured as much because it didn't have it wasn't a spectacular time or in the playoffs or anything, but it was an amazing run. It just goes on. I can just think of so many times. The time he juked Ray Lewis, playing the Ravens at home, juked him out of his jock. Just a lot of other, guys who, or other runs. NFC Championship game, take the lead against the Packers. The catch that he made in the Super Bowl to start our drive that ultimately resulted in an interception, but that pass he caught out to midfield. I mean, the guy did it all. He could run, he could catch out of the backfield, he could block. The guy just did everything. While he was weird in the sense of not, you never could figure him out. Wouldn't talk, all that stuff that he's famous for. While, we never understood, no one ever truly understood him. Sometimes his antics were a little bit trying, even for us fans. But we loved the guy just because what he did on the field was second to none. And yeah, it won't be the same without him. But we all knew that this day was coming. So I guess all I can really say to that is thank you to Marshawn Lynch. Thank you to Beast Mode for just 15 seasons, 15 or 16, or what am I saying? 5 to 6 seasons of just amazing Seahawk football, and just never got tired of watching that guy do his thing. And he's going to be missed. It's definitely a chapter that was awesome to have. I knew it wouldn't last forever, but it was great that we had him with us and helped us, to bring a championship home to Seattle. It's just a shame. My biggest disappointment was that we didn't get the second one for him. I really wanted to close out that one against the Patriots last year. Should have had him. That should have been like Manning going out on top and retiring this year. That should have been his swan song. That should have been his final play to carry him off into the sunset, to retire as a champion, back-to-back Super Bowl champion. And you've seen my reaction in that game. Give it to him again. And they should have, and that should have been his moment. And not blaming it at all at this point, but, that's what I wanted to have happen. And it's just unfortunate, but the guy's good to go. He's set for life. He's got all the money he'll need, but he can look back on a career that has been amazing. So big thanks to Marshawn Lynch for everything he's done for the Seahawks and for this city. And I guess a quick looking ahead of what does that mean for the Seahawks moving forward? Well, as we all know, we've got Thomas Rawls, who has definitely come out of the gates looking like the next best successor to Beast Mode. I won't say he's quite, the number, going to be the ultimate clone to follow in his footsteps, but he's the best shot at getting there. So, he's a different runner, different size, different build, but he's doing some amazing things. And if he can recover from this ankle injury, come back, I think, we will be in good hands with him as our featured back. And maybe we keep Kristen Michael with the new improved positive attitude and work ethic. And, maybe we bring in an experienced back. Maybe if there's a free agent out there who's floating around that, isn't going to cost us too much money, that we bring in a veteran in there just to kind of balance things out, kind of like what Fred Jackson did for us this year. I just don't know if Fred Jackson, him coming back next year, if that's an option, practical option for Seattle. He was brought in more as a third down back, not an every down back necessarily, but when he was brought in, we had Lynch and Rawls, were going at that point. So things are changing a little bit. So we'll see if that's a possibility. But it does feel good to know we're in good hands with Thomas Rawls coming up and making a name for himself and already off to a good start. So we'll hope for his recovery, full recovery, and we'll see how training camp goes when that gets going. So that's it for now. Those are my thoughts on it. It hasn't really sunk in yet fully, but hopefully they do something to maybe they put him in the Ring of Honor, do something cool to honor him, because it's well deserved. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you, Beast Mode, and go Hawks.